Hey guys, welcome back for week 3, day 3 of the yoga challenge with me, Erin Motz. We are continuing on opening up the hips and gaining some flexibility in the lower half of the body with some of my all-time favorite poses. So this is the stuff I go to when I'm feeling a little bit tight. You don't need anything today, just meet me at the top of your mat and we'll go ahead and get started. So today I want you to start sitting down and we're going to take our feet wide to begin. So since we're starting out, I mean, you may be very cold, especially if you're doing this first thing in the morning. The muscles tend to be really tight, so go easy on yourself. This is really subjective to what feels good for you. So don't do 100% of what you know you can. Just keep it to like 50% of what you know you're capable of doing. If this is way too much, just close the legs up a little bit, narrow your V. So knees and toes face the sky and just slightly walk the hands forward. So just enough to get a little bit of a stretch. You don't want to feel like you're in pain here. Just a little. Shoulders drop back, reach the chest forward, and we're just going to take a few breaths. So without letting the legs drop in toward the middle, with each breath out, try to soften through the lower back. Try to soften the hamstrings. And all that really means is stop resisting the stretch. So you're not necessarily actively softening anything, it's just letting it go. So try to keep it simple for yourself. And remember, you're tilting from the lowest part of the hip, so kind of where you're, probably about where your shirt meets your pants, or my shirt meets my pants anyway. Maybe walk a bit further out if you can. Now on your next inhale, just walk the hands back in. Go ahead and bring the hands behind the knees, under the legs, and pull them in. Swing them to the back of your mat and go ahead and take a down dog. So tuck the toes under. Sit up and back, check your form, check your alignment, feet are hip width apart, hands are about shoulder width apart, spread the fingers, lift the hips, and just get really heavy through the heels. Even if the heels don't touch, that's okay. You can keep the knees bent, heels lifted. Remember, it's not incorrect to do it that way. Just depends. We'll just take a couple more breaths. On your next inhale, go ahead and pick the right leg straight up. So pay attention. I want you to make sure that the right shoulder stays down, because what we're going to do is bend the right knee and open the hip so you're reaching the right toes toward the left shoulder. So it feels kind of funky, but again, try not to let the right shoulder pop up. You want to keep the armpit moving down towards your mat so the shoulders are square with each other. And take one more breath in and out. Then breathe in, straighten the right leg, step the right foot between the hands, spin the left heel down, and come all the way up to a warrior two. So bend the right knee a lot, just so you kind of have an idea of what this should look like. The right heel should look like it would intersect with the center of the left foot. So right knee is bent, left leg is straight, arms are reaching evenly away from each other, and just look down that right arm. Keep the shoulders relaxed, shoulder blades pulling back. Maybe sit a little bit lower and make sure the right knee is right over the toes. And take 2 more breaths. On your next inhale, straighten out the right leg. Turn the right toes in, turn the left toes in, just adjusting my stance here. You're going to hinge from the hip creases. So not from the waist, but from lower down. So pull the belly in. I want you to come forward halfway. Pause when you get to the center. And then with an exhale, go ahead and take the hands down. So you have a couple options here. Again, this is fine if this is enough work for you. If you want more of a challenge, if you want more effort, you can start to hinge forward more and walk the upper body down further. If you're very flexible, walking the feet in closer will make it more challenging to fold. So that's always an option as well. The head doesn't have to touch your mat. Again, wherever you end up is fine. Just try to keep the spine long, reaching the crown of the head forward, pulling the navel back, and then as you hinge, the spine stays straight. So give it a couple more breaths. And then if you're folded all the way down, go ahead and lift the chest up halfway so the hands are flat. I want you to bring the left hand underneath the nose so it's stacked under the shoulder, and then inhale, spin the right arm straight up. So if it feels uncomfortable to keep the right hand lifted, you can always bring it to the lower back instead. Sometimes I like doing that anyway. I just think it feels better on my shoulders. So whatever works for you is fine. Keep the pressure in both feet even, and you can really look any direction, down, straight, up towards the sky. There's plenty of room for making it your own, always. And then gradually take the right hand back down. I want you to curl back to where you started, to the front of your mat. Just bring the hands forward. Step back to a plank. Lower down halfway. You can always take the knees down. Lay the chest flat. Roll the shoulders back. Come up to cobra. Lay the chest down. Tuck the toes under. Sit up and back. Downward facing dog. Couple breaths here. All the way in, all the way out. And then inhale, pick the left leg straight up. You're going to bend the knee and open the hip again. So remember that left shoulder. Try not to pop the chest open to the side, but keep the left armpit moving down. Reach through the left toes. So think of isolating the left hip. Upper body is strong, but it's straight. Inhale, straighten the left leg. Exhale, step forward. Warrior two. I'm turning away from you, but we're doing the same exact thing. So left toes face the front of your mat. Right foot parallel to the edge of the back of your mat. And just make sure that that left heel would intersect with the middle of the right foot. Take the arms out. Soften the shoulders. Just drop the shoulders back. Pull the lower abdominals in and sit the hips low. Notice if your hips kind of pop up to be uneven. So a lot of times we do this. It makes it easier, but it won't do you any good. So scoop the hips down, try to keep the pelvis level, and then sink low. Take a couple more breaths. Good. You can bring the hands to the hips, straighten the legs, turn both feet in a little bit, and turn back to face you. You don't have to move. I'm just moving for you so you can see me. Toes turn in, come down halfway. So flat back, pull the belly in. And then exhale, take the hands down. So wide forward fold, standing wide angle, however you want to call it. Toes are in slightly. Both legs are straight as you can get them. And then as you exhale, you're folding forward. So the upper body stays heavy. Remember that your priority is keeping the spine long and straight. So if it's uncomfortable to come that far, you can stay exactly where you were. I'm going to give you a few more moments. And inhale, lift the chest halfway, flat back. Take the right hand underneath the nose, so you're right under the shoulder. Start to spin the chest open to the left. Take the left arm up, or you can keep it on the lower back. Again, whatever feels better. Keep moving the left shoulder back in space, spinning right through the center of the body. Keep the pressure in both feet even. And take 2 more breaths. Exhale, take it back down. Start to toe heel the feet in toward the center. Turn to the front of your mat. And on your next breath in, come to a flat back, reaching the crown of the head forward. You can always come up halfway on the legs if that feels better. But then I want you to lean into the hands, pick the left leg up halfway. We're gonna bend both knees. And the left knee is gonna come to the outside of the right ankle. You're gonna sit down. So I'll face you so you can see differently. Left leg back, both knees bend, left knee to the outside of the right ankle, and sit down. So once you get to a seat, if that didn't work at all, just tuck the left leg in, heel moves toward the right hip, cross the right foot over the left leg. Okay, so both hips are down, really grounded through the lower half of the body. Push into the ball of the right foot, breathe in, sit up tall. And on the exhale, start to turn over the right shoulder. Either you just hug the right knee in towards you, or you can hook the elbow to the outside of the thigh. So remember that you're twisting from the lowest part of the spine. So instead of just kind of turning from the upper body and moving back, I want you to think of sitting up really tall, and the base of the spine is where you move from. So hug the rib cage back, keep both hips down. You can look back, straight ahead, whatever you're comfortable with. Relax back to the center. Uncross the legs a little bit. Plant the feet. Come back up to a fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Same thing to the other side. Lean into the hands. Pick the right leg up halfway. Bend both knees. Cross the right knee to the outside of the left ankle. Sit down. Doesn't matter what direction you're facing. I'm just trying to show you from all angles. Ball of the left foot is down. Both hips are heavy. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, twist over to the left. Right hand hugs in, or you can hook it all the way over. Remember to breathe. Now exhale, release back to the center. Go ahead and lean back on the hands, just uncross the legs. Turn to face me and cross the feet comfortably. So however you would normally sit is fine. Let the shoulders sit back. Lift through the crown of the head and let the eyes close. So just noticing any newfound openness through the hips, through the low back. Maybe you stand a little bit taller. It's easier to sit up tall. And on your next breath in, pull the arms up overhead. Press the hands together. Exhale them right down to the heart center. Let the eyes open. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I really hope you enjoyed that one. For more yoga and other awesome stuff, check out erinmontz.com, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow.